Welcome to the Manuchehri podcast. Over the last 30 years, it has been my joy to assist humanity in aligning with their magnificence so they may heal, discover their natural gifts, and communicate with loved ones living on the other side. May you also experience delight while we dance in the powerful, intuitive world of energy. Let's get going. Welcome to our Energy Meets the Divine. I'm recording today on November 6th in the United States. And most people know by now in the world that the United States president election went to Donald Trump for his second term here in the US, which is not what I predicted. I was very confident that my guides had spoken to me, that I heard them accurately say Kamala Harris would be the next president, but clearly that is not what happened. So I apologize for my inability to fully detach well enough to hear the universe speak to me or communicate to me. When you're a psychic or an intuitive, which we all are, by the way, everyone has natural intuitive abilities, at least for their own self, and certainly for the people that they love. And if they want to pursue a professional career, they can. But one of the really important maneuvers that needs to happen is you have to detach. You can't be emotionally connected. That's why some psychics only see clients once. If they have a very big population of people that see them, they only see them once. Because it's so easy to detach when you don't know certain people. You've never met them before. You're not emotionally connected. Obviously, I did not detach significantly enough, even though I thought I had, to be able to predict the presidential election. So for those of you who were really, like, oh, thank goodness, I'm sorry it didn't work out that way. I'm also hoping that your cortisol levels, because you were relaxed up until last night, that your cortisol levels stayed lovely and your anxiety was reduced. And now we need to work on that moving forward. When I work in my practice with clients who have serious health issues, my primary job is to help them to keep their energy elevated, even though they're going through something significant and difficult. And it could be other things in their life. It doesn't have to be their body, but that's a large percentage of the people that I see is people who have significant health issues. And when they can detach from what's going on in their body, which is a very challenging thing, they raise their vibration and then their body starts to get better. So all of us, regardless of whoever's running what country, regardless of that, we all need to work on running our energy in a positive, high vibrational way. Like, it's really critical. So that, let's say you work in a company and you don't like your boss, or you don't like the manager that's in charge of your boss even. Let's just say that there's conflict and there's problems and you don't like it. And you think about it and you overthink about the situation. That's going to lower your vibration. If by chance you can run your energy higher, which means you have to ignore, in a way, what's happening, what your logical mind is telling you, like, oh, I don't like this boss. I don't like their policies. I don't like how strict they are, or I don't appreciate that they aren't appreciating me. Whatever the scenario is that's bothering you, that's making you feel uncomfortable, that's making you wish that you could leave that company, or that person would be fired or somehow lose their job. You're going to have to train yourself. This is what happens when we shift our perception. You have to train yourself, your mind, to focus on things that you actually do like about your job when you're there. So maybe you like the surroundings. If you work from home or you work in an office space, maybe you like looking out the window. Maybe you love some of your coworkers. Maybe you love the art on the wall. It doesn't matter what you like, but it needs to be extensively authentic. It's not a fake it till you make it thing. To raise your vibration is not that. That's I don't know where that term came up a long time ago, or not that long ago, actually, but it's not effective. It's not effective. It may feel good in the moment, but you need to really focus on something that brings you joy. So for all of us, around the world who, wish that politics were different, not maybe just in the United States, but anywhere in the world. If we continue to focus on what's really bothering us, which is very logical, it's right there in front of us, it's right in front of our face, it's right on the newspaper, it's on talk shows, it's on NPR, it's everywhere. If you could not focus on that, not focus on what's happening, which I know sounds very irresponsible, but it's not. If you raise the vibration, then the situations will change, at the very least for you. So back to my example of the job. If someone raises their vibration, something will happen in their workplace to align them to that frequency. If we consistently move our energy into something that we can think positively about, that's authentic for us, especially while we're doing something, that has some aspect that makes us feel uncomfortable, the universe has to return the same vibration to you. So it's the most important law in the universe in quantum physics, besides free will, is like attracts like. So where your body's vibrating is what you're attracting. It's just what happens. So you have this job, you don't like your boss, you're not having fun. Maybe you used to like your job when you had a different boss. So you're very clear about what's not bringing you joy, but yet you're going to try this trick of the trade. It's really wonderful for humans to see how they are manifesting their life. They are co-creating and manifesting their experiences. And so you practice keeping your energy elevated. First of all, you're going to be happier. You're going to feel good. Your body's going to feel better. And with your energy elevated, you're now going to attract different opportunities. A friend could come out of the blue and tell you about a fantastic job that just opened up that they would love to recommend you for. And it's even going to pay you more. Or the company has that you were working for, the boss that you didn't enjoy, the company has a big change in their leadership, and the boss that you had gets moved to a different part of the company. The beautiful thing about intuition is you can't really always predict how the outcome is going to occur, which most of the time is really fun. Most of the time, it's so fun to be surprised, to go, oh, surprise, oh, surprise, oh, surprise. Like, oh, I didn't know my friend was going to offer me an incredible job. So for those people who are uncomfortable with the outcome of this most recent US election, if you could even keep your energy about, well, I don't know what's going to potentially change that could be good for the world. It's not going to be what we think. So you have to get out of the vibrations of logical thinking that makes total sense to you and start focusing on things that make you happy, which for now may not be politics. That may not be where you want to run your energy. Instead, be hopeful in general that everyone is having a new experience, a new way to care about each other, hopefully. And you're going to focus as an individual on the things that bring you joy, because it will raise your vibration and keep your world and your family in a place of receiving things that you would want to receive, to have experiences that bring you great joy. So that's our job right now. It really is our job all the time, but there's moments like this where we don't know what to do. Like, we can't take any other action. This is the way it is. It's a great opportunity for everyone to learn how to run their vibration differently, no matter what, and see what kind of outcomes occur that change your paradigm, change your experience. Many people who work on this, who shift their vibration and have for years and years, they feel like they live in a different reality. This is why they don't always get upset about certain world events, because they're having a completely different experience. It doesn't really matter who's running a country or a business or who lives in their community, because their energy is so high. They're having a different experience. Not valuing and appreciating others is a lower vibrational experience. And when you raise your vibration, you move away from the lower frequencies, whatever they may be. They're not positive. And so you move into these higher vibrational realities, and then that becomes your reality for yourself and your family, your community, because your energy will inspire others to also raise their vibration. When someone says, why are you happy? And you can tell them, well, I've just decided to choose to focus on positive things. And your friend or family member might go, I'm going to try that too. Even if people don't do it all the time, even just a little bit, when you're connected to others who are doing it more often, it can raise your vibration. So this is an opportunity for anyone who wants to take up the challenge of learning to run their vibration regardless of external factors. This is an opportunity. You may have had opportunities in your own personal life, and if you have and you took the challenge, I'm sure you could recite some beautiful, wonderful outcomes that you didn't expect that occurred in your life. So now we want to take it, from more of an external experience and learn how to run your energy higher so that we can have different healthy, happy outcomes, which would be fantastic, but definitely for ourselves, definitely for our family, and definitely for our community, so that the vibration can run higher and solutions that are effortless, that feel good, that are fair, come into our universe. Everyone has their own universe of energy around them anyway. Your whole body is a universe. All those subatomic particles inside of you are a unique, individualized universe. So in a way, that's why some people have a different reality regardless of what's happening in the world. This is why you can have those experiences, because if you can run your universe in a different frequency, in a different vibration than what everybody else is running, you're going to have different experiences. There'll be higher vibrational experiences, and everything we want in the universe runs in a very high vibration. So I hope you take the challenge. I've certainly had personal things in my life where I didn't like what was happening, and I felt hopeless. That's what happens to humanity, is we have moments in life where we feel hopeless vibration, even though it may look, and there could be tons of supporting experiences that say, yeah, this is a hopeless situation, which could go beyond politics, by the way. But if we can get out of that frequency and out of that vibration, then the situation leaves hopelessness and moves into hope, and moves into power, and moves into receptivity. This is a very wonderful opportunity for all of us, regardless of the reason. It doesn't have to be because of politics. It could be any external or internal life challenge in your life, to consistently refocus your energy. I was speaking to a client recently who's had health challenges over the years, and she's been working on changing her vibration and her frequency, and her health has improved significantly. So has her life. And when we were talking, I had to remind her, I had to point out, she had shared all the positive things that happened, but she was still trying to focus on the few things that weren't working out. And so we spent about 45 minutes talking about how not to do that, how not to focus on the few things that aren't working out, and to really appreciate all the wonderful things that are happening. So that could be a great way for many people to shift their vibration and their frequency. It could be a fantastic way to do it. Okay, I'm up for the challenge. I'm going to be definitely doing that personally, because I always do it professionally, but I'm going to be doing it personally. I work on it, but I'm going to be doing it even more so. So I hope you can join me in this new healthy, and what really is what humanity needs to do anyway, to get heaven on earth for everyone, to have a vibration that is very healthy for the majority of the human population. We need more people vibrating their energy in elevated frequencies, so that their individual lives that get better also bleed out into the consciousness of the rest of the human race. That makes it really fun and interesting and enjoyable, and allows us all to learn something new about ourselves, about frequency, about vibration, and subatomic particles, which everything is made out of energy, everything. Okay, I'm going to go to the phone lines now and start answering questions. And again, thank you everyone for calling and leaving a voicemail. I greatly appreciate it, and I have a lot of fun. Thank you.
Hi, Marie. This is Katie from Florida. I am 41 years old. I've never been married. I met a man in January of last year. We were acquaintances and bandmates for
Oh, wow.
a while before we started dating, finally. And I was very much in love with him. He passed away suddenly and unexpectedly one night. He went to bed and didn't wake up. This was almost exactly 3 months ago. I had gotten the message in December, late December, that he would be in heaven soon, and I completely pushed the message out of my mind. It was just so uncomfortable, and I did myself a disservice with that because I could have prepared myself at least a little bit for this. It really, really, really tore me up to lose him. He was a very kind, warm, talented, funny person. Anyway, I get the feeling that he watches over me. I swear I felt him next to me. I got a lot of signs from him in the beginning, not so much now. I did see him. I got into a very high vibration beginning of April, and I did see him with my third eye and physical eyes. He started to more or less appear in front of me. I didn't communicate with him. I had other people around, and I kind of pulled back from that energy, which I kind of regret now. So I hope he's not too disappointed in me.
No.
Yeah, that's it. I guess I guess that's it. I just wanted to know if he had any messages for me. I love your YouTube channel. Thanks so much, Marie. Bye-bye.
Thank you, Katie. I'm so sorry for your loss. You know, this person that you've known for a long time, and then you both realize, oh, we should be partners. I'm very, very sorry. I am grateful for your fantastic intuition, your amazing intuition. And I know nobody wants to hear, you know, there's certain things we don't want to hear. We don't want to see, we don't want to feel. But the universe is offering us information all the time. And in your case, in many other people's cases, it is there to prepare you. So even though you pushed it away, you had some awareness of it, which I think probably did prepare you to some degree. Um, of course, I can see him. He's very close to you. He said you were his life's reward. So when people come to Earth, there are certain things they hope to accomplish. We have free will. We don't have to accomplish anything if we don't want to. Nobody even has to come to Earth to have a lifetime if they don't want to. He wanted to have an unconditional, loving, mutual relationship. So he's had previous relationships and he unconditionally loved that person, but it wasn't mutual, right? So maybe he dated younger souls, or dated people who didn't know how to hold authenticity and the love, didn't know how to really be vulnerable. Being friends and bandmates, you're both musicians, which is pretty cool. Obviously, you created a relationship, you know, for many years. So sometimes when older souls, or any soul, comes to Earth and says, I really want to have, like in his case, he said, I really want to have a mutual, unconditional loving relationship. And then we say to the universe, and when I get that, I can cross. Now, when we say that, even though we're on the other side, we know what it means. We know that it means like, oh, we could go very quickly. And we don't have to leave quickly. That isn't a requirement once we've had an reward for something that we've wanted to experience, maybe for hundreds of thousands of years. There's something we've wanted to experience. But in some cases, the person, it's like their soul goes, okay, yeah, we got it. Yay. And maybe because you guys have had this relationship of sorts, you know, not intimate like the one that you ultimately created, but he was getting this unconditional love from you anyway, you know, as friends and as colleagues. Because he is so incredibly kind. I mean, you're not kidding. Such a kind human being who was sensitive to the world's issues and problems too, you know. Didn't like it when people weren't nice to each other. He has agreed to be one of those really incredible, special beings in your life. Our loved ones can't become our spirit guides because who cross over after we've been, born, because we already chosen our spirit guide group and we choose that before we incarnate. But there are some loved ones, when they cross over, they do everything in their power to act on our behalf as if they are a spirit guide. And those are powerful connections because they're so fresh from Earth. They know what Earth is like. Oh yeah, no, they wouldn't like this and they wouldn't like that. And no, so I'm going to help them have these other experiences, other opportunities. So that's what he signed up for. He's not upset at all. He's so grateful you saw him. He's so grateful, so incredibly grateful, not surprised, but grateful. And he said there will be many opportunities in the future. Remember, you have to raise your vibration. And sometimes shortly after people cross, our energy is elevated, not in every case, but our energy is elevated because so many people are sending us love. And we're in the presence of people, paying their respects and honoring the person who passed away. And so the energy is elevated. A lot of funerals, memorial services, people are sending flowers. So energy is elevated at that time for sometimes a short period of time, sometimes longer. And that's when a lot of people will have experiences with their loved ones, like see them. But you could have those, even though those services are perhaps over with or whatever the circumstances were for you, because he hasn't been gone very long. But you have to raise your vibration, which we all need to do, clearly, as I pointed out at the top of this podcast. Thank you for calling in and thank you for your question. It was excellent. I really appreciate it.
What I am wondering is I am coming out of a pretty major event in my life and a point of transformation, and I am not sure really which way to go. So I am torn between pursuing my art practice and then also pursuing some sort of energy work. Specifically, I have very vivid dreams that often are precognitive. I track them and it's always interesting to go back. Some of them have been quite accurate. And speaking of which, there's a particular person that keeps coming up in my dreams that I find kind of confusing.
It is confusing.
I can't seem to make sense of. Yeah. If you have any insight on that. But again, I'm wondering kind of what direction I should go, because I really enjoy learning and dealing everything in the whole energy realm. I find it fascinating, but I also really in my heart, I absolutely love art and I can't seem to stay away from it. I am wondering if you have any advice about any of those things. Thank you so much. And I hope you have a wonderful day. Bye.
Thank you, Andrea. Precognitive dreams are very cool. I was 19 when I had my first consciousness of a precognitive dream. I don't remember my dreams hardly. I've remembered about 5 of them, and all of those have been precognitive. And I was 19, and I was on the back of a horse, a beautiful horse, like a stallion, gorgeous horse. And I knew I was in the desert. I was also wearing a veil, very sheer. I mean, it was kind of feminine and sexy, and like all this silk, like chiffon floating, behind me. And I was holding a man's waist. I couldn't see his face. I couldn't see anything about him. He was covered too in a way. And I couldn't see him, but I was holding on to him, and the horse was galloping in the desert, but it didn't feel hot. It was almost like moonlight. It was really stunning. And then within a few months, I met someone who I eventually married that was Middle Eastern. So to me, that was a precognitive experience, the universe letting me know about, oh, well, this is what you're going to choose next. This is what you're going to choose next. So precognitive dreams are very cool. But in the dream process, when you were talking about this guy, which I don't get a good feeling about, or this person, may not be a man, but it's a person. What you always want to do is go back to the dream and feel how you felt in the dream. Because a lot of times we awaken from a dream and then we have a judgment about it. We create a mental perception about what the dream was versus going back and ascertaining how you felt in the dream, because the dream is giving you information, potentially. Dreams can be very healing. And in your case, Andrea, I know you didn't leave your name, but your name is Andrea. There is this precognitive aspect. So you need to know what you're feeling. You need to know what you're feeling. I was very excited in that one dream that I had. And even though, it was not I'm divorced from that relationship, there was a lot of fun, a lot of excitement, a lot of fun. And I loved our children being raised in a community that included family in every activity. It was very cool, very fun experience. Okay, do both. Make art, do energy work. I think energy work is artistic. It's artistic. Do both. You're an artist. Raise your vibration when you think about these things. Do not lower your frequency when you think about art or energy work or what you should be doing. Raise your vibration so you can follow your own unique yellow brick road and create the life that you desire, that you deserve, right? Everything's about raising the vibration. Okay.
Hi, Marie. This is Amber. I'm calling from Western Connecticut. And I just wanted to ask you for a general energy scan to see if I have any leaks or anything weird going on. I just completed my Reiki mastership as a master practitioner. I'm not going to do the master teacher just yet, just because of my lifestyle currently. I just wouldn't have time to teach, so I'm happy with master practitioner.
Sure.
But for some reason, I don't know if I'm just not receiving or there's some kind of a block, or I'm just in my head too much, which could very well be because I am always in my head and I'm always trying to not be in my head. But it is a challenge. And I'm just wondering if you could give me some advice as to why, for some reason, I know the energy is coming through and I'm just a channel or a conduit for the Reiki energies. What I just don't, for some reason, it's like how do I explain it? For some reason, I am not convinced that it's actually happening.
Right.
If that sounds weird.
No.
I love Reiki. I think energy healing is
amazing,
incredible.
Amazing.
But I don't know if I have a block or if I'm in my head too much, or what is going on with me. I am also interested in doing equine Reiki. I have a horse of my own, and I sent her Reiki for an edema, and a few days later it had disappeared. Yay. So I do know it works, but for some reason, when I work on myself or on people, it's like I feel blocked. Like, is this really happening? Do I really feel this? But that's really it. So if you can give me some advice, that would be great. Thank you very much. Bye.
Hi, Amber, and congratulations on helping your horse. Incredible. I love energy work so much. It's a valuable, a massively valuable art form, and it's effective. It actually works. So you answered your question because you thought, well, maybe because I'm in my head. Yes, you cannot be in your brain and assess energy. You can't feel it. So your homework assignment is, I teach this in all my classes, maybe take a class, or I'm sure I have a video somewhere about how to get out of your head and rest in the lower half of your body on YouTube. So what you want to do is start to feel your pelvic cavity, wiggle your toes, feel your glute muscles. You want your energy to leave your brain, because the brain doesn't need a lot of energy. It's a conservation organ. It already has trillions of neurotransmitters, so it knows how to have a synapsis and move energy effectively. It's a very efficient, beautiful organ. So you want to pull your energy out of your brain. It is your energy. You can do it, and into the lower half of your body when you're working in Reiki. Maybe even try toning. Something I do in my practice. I use my mouth to tone because the toning could distract you from thinking, but you will need to get out of your head and allow yourself to be in the lower half of your body so that you can start sensing the energy. And congratulations on your horse. You know it's working. It doesn't matter if it's a horse or a person. You know it's working. You just somehow know how to not overthink and analyze when it comes to non-humans. And now you're just going to take it to the next level and do it with humans too. Okay? Okay.
Hi, Marie. I was calling for a mediumship reading for my daughter. I would love to see if her biological dad has any messages for her. When she was 6, he had left us and had no further communication with her. And at 9, he had took his own life, which I understand that was the way his soul wanted to leave. And I have forgiven him for our history with him and him leaving, and I know he had to do that in order for another person to come into our life, and everything worked out how it should have. My daughter is a teenager now, and she's struggling with depression, and is just I think it would help her to hear a message from him if he has one for her. And anything that you could help with or share that would help her. She's 13 and struggling with depression. If you have any messages or have any advice for her, I would love to hear it. Her name is Kaisley. Thank you so much. Bye.
Of course, Cori and Kaisley. Of course, I can see her dad, strong guy, really strong, and stubborn, very stubborn person. At least he was when he was in physical form. What a lot of people don't understand is our biological parents aren't always the parents that are supposed to raise us. So if someone gets adopted, they do go to the correct people who are supposed to raise them. I know that sounds terrible if you didn't like your adoptive parents, but that's what happens. And so Kelsey's, I am probably not saying her name correctly, her biological father was not supposed to raise her. And he knew that. He knew he was not a good parental supportive person. So what we want to do, because humans just have all of these weird ideas about how it's supposed to happen, that if a biological person takes himself out of the parenting world, that they've abandoned us. Well, no, it would not have been in her best interest to be raised by him. The correct people came and raised her. So I think parents and grandparents and aunts and uncles who keep bringing up the victimization story of, oh, this person, abandoned us and then they took their life. We got to stop that story. It's not the truth. It is a lie. It is a complete and total lie. There are some people who we want something about their biology before we incarnate. We like something about their biology and we want that in our system, but we don't want them to raise us, and they're not supposed to raise us. Your daughter's dad, biological father, he is learning how to be a parent on the other side, and he's taking notes. He's watching you and the other people who are raising her, how to be a parent. So he's learning. So that could be something that he set up, that he would have a child, that he would leave his body soon, because maybe this is something he really wants to learn. And for whatever reason, he doesn't know how to do it in a physical reality. And so he crossed over so that he can watch very loving, compassionate, kind people raise his only child and take notes and go, right? It kind of reminds me, because I'm a grandmother, how my children, of course, do things differently than what I did or what their father did. And it's funny sometimes, like we have different, like I think as a parent, one of the things that we did is sometimes not knowing, we kind of shamed our kids, like, no, you can't do that. That's not very nice. And now, parents aren't doing that. They're, saying, oh, let's be gentle, but they're not shaming their kids, right? So we all do things differently. We hope every generation improves, especially in parenting, so we can have healthy, happy, loving children. Depression, just like anxiety, and the majority of the population on Earth is from overthinking and analyzing. But in this case, which is true, this is what's happening with your daughter. She's overthinking about things, overanalyzing about things. She needs to stop doing that and go do fun things. And I think the adults in her life need to change the story about her father. And anyone listening who has a similar story, Change the story about it, because some people are not meant to raise children. It's not in their best interest. But in this case, like your daughter's biological dad, he is taking notes so that if he chooses to come to Earth again in the future, he will have a playbook to look at about what not to do and what to do, which is very exciting. He loves her very much, and he's grateful he didn't raise her. He's grateful, grateful, not from any sort of selfish aspect, but for her benefit, for her absolute 100% benefit. That's what he tells me. Okay.
Hi, Marie. I'm Valentina, and I'm from Brazil. And I wanted to ask you about the last 3 to 4 years I've been having, as if it was a food poisoning, maybe 3 or 4 times a year, each year.
Yeah.
And I don't think it is food poisoning,
It's not food poisoning.
but I just wanted to know if there's something energetically that's making that happen to me.
Yes.
And also, there was a crazy experience that I've had. I used to live in the US for 9 years of my life. I moved when I was 15 on my own and came back last year when I was 24. And right before I left, I was in Mount Shasta in a spring, and I just started talking to the trees. And it did happen, but I laughed because anyone I would tell this to in my surroundings wouldn't really believe it.
Yeah.
And they told me that I shouldn't leave and that was my place, but I'm not sure if that's just my wish to be there and I couldn't because of bureaucracy,
Right.
like visas and stuff,
Right.
or if that's actually a thing. And yeah. And also maybe I don't know which question will be the most prominent for you to answer, but I've been in this relationship for the past 4 years and I've known this person for the past 7, almost 8. And I feel like he's a young soul just from hearing your
Yeah.
podcast. And I feel like I'm an old soul. I've actually been hearing that for years and years since I was a kid from strangers. And sometimes I question if I should be with him, but I love him a lot. And I don't know if it's just my mind or if it's actually my intuition that's talking to me. Yeah, I've been having a hard time with this one. But yeah, thank you so much in advance. I'm loving your work. And yeah, thank you.
You're welcome, Valentina. I've never been to Brazil. It sounds amazing. It is on my bucket list. So you live in a beautiful part of the world. Yes, the trees were talking to you. I've been to Mount Shasta. It's lovely. It has incredible energy. It kind of has ET energy. I'm like, wow, do aliens land here regularly and run around the glacier lake? I mean, it's really a stunning place. A lot of people are attracted to it. I think, you would probably love living in the Pacific Northwest. But because of, circumstances as you described, I would just be open for any opportunities that arrive. Because when the universe speaks to us, there can be timing issues, right? Like you hear something one day, but it's not for years that it actually plays out, right? So I wouldn't discard what you heard from the trees, and it's beautiful over there. The mountains are very pretty over there. I would keep it in your pocket. Like, obviously there's, reasons, that you can't live in the US right now, but I wouldn't discard what the trees told you. I would keep it in your pocket and stay open for opportunities to come back to the States and potentially live here. Like, I wouldn't be surprised if an opportunity arrived for you in the next, 5 years or so, and all of a sudden you're living on stateside. So just know that the universe will give us insight, but it could be a few years before it actually, all of it lines up and comes together. The throwing up is what I'm most interested in, the food poisoning thing that's happening 3 to 4 times a year. It is because of an energy block in the solar plexus, which is the chakra of self-love. That's the emotional component that keeps the chakra healthy and all the organs that are governed by the third chakra. So the liver, pancreas, gallbladder, spleen, stomach, small intestinal tract are all governed by the third chakra. And what humans have to do to keep the energy vital in any chakra is to actually embody authentically the emotion of that particular chakra. And that chakra is self-love. When people start to love themselves more, and if they have some significant blocks in the third chakra, they will get nauseous. They will get sick. They will throw up. This is not a joke. So I would look at it that you are moving some blockages, but maybe you haven't been consciously working on the self-love as much as you would like, I think it's a daily experience. I know that self-love is an experience in itself. It's not a thought. And I hope to have, and I hope everyone has, daily experiences of loving yourself. It's really healthy. It will help evolve humanity in profound and amazing ways. So those are the only 2 questions that I'm going to answer for you, because I actually have to go and talk to clients today. So again, everyone, thank you for listening to the podcast or watching it on YouTube. Please like and subscribe below. And I wish everyone a beautiful, beautiful day in the world, no matter where you are, no matter who's leading your country, no matter whom your neighbor is. I wish you high vibrational frequencies, happiness, and love, because you'll attract it to you and make your life better. And also for the people around you, it will just naturally happen because like attracts like. Thank you so much. Bye-bye for now.